Imagine this. You're out in the middle of nowhere, standing under the desert sun. The heat presses down like a heavy blanket, and the only sound is the bleating of sheep you've been herding all day. The staff in your hand feels rough and worn, the kind of tool that belongs to someone who spent far too long away from home. You're no hero. You're no leader. You're just trying to live a quiet life far from the mistakes of your past. Then, out of the corner of your eye, you notice something strange. A bush. Burning, but not burning up. You blink, rub your eyes, and look again. It's still there. Flames licking at the branches, but the bush isn't consumed. Against every instinct screaming at you to stay put, you step closer, curiosity pulling you forward. And then, a voice. A voice so commanding it makes the ground under your feet feel holy. "Take off your sandals," the voice says, "for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Your heart races. You slip off your sandals, feeling the warmth of the earth beneath your feet. The voice speaks again, introducing himself. "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." You drop to your knees, covering your face, because you know exactly where you are, in the presence of God himself. And then comes the reason for this encounter. The voice tells you of his people, your people suffering in slavery back in Egypt. He's heard their cries, he's seen their misery, and has chosen you. Wait, what? You? Your heart sinks as the realization dawns. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. God says your mind races, and before you can stop yourself, the excuses tumble out. Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh? You stammer. I'm a nobody. I can't even speak well. But the voice doesn't waver. I will be with you, he says. And this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you when you have brought the people out of Egypt. You will worship God on this mountain. You try another excuse. But what if they ask for your name? What should I tell them? God's response is simple but powerful. I am. Who I am. Tell them I am has sent you. You're still not convinced. But what if they don't believe me? You ask, grasping at straws. So God gives you a demonstration. He tells you to throw your staff on the ground. You do, and it transforms into a serpent. You jump back, your pulse quickening. Then he tells you to pick it up. With trembling hands, you obey, and it turns back into a staff. God doesn't stop there. He gives you more signs a hand that turns leprous and is healed, water from the Nile turning to blood all to show you that he's with you. But still, your doubt lingers. Please, Lord, you finally say, send someone else. Despite your reluctance, there's no getting out of this. God's patience is infinite, but his plan is unshakable. He assures you that your brother will help speak for you and reminds you once more it's not about you, it's about me. So you set out, staff in hand, heart pounding, to face the most powerful man in the world. The journey is daunting, the task impossible by human standards, but you know one thing: God has called you, and he won't abandon you. You find yourself standing before Pharaoh, your voice trembling as you say the words God has given you. Let my people go. Pharaoh laughs. He mocks you. He refuses. But God's power isn't a laughing matter. Plague after plague strikes Egypt, water turning to blood. Swarms of frogs, locusts, hail, darkness so thick it can be felt. Each time, Pharaoh's heart hardens until the final plague comes. That night, the cries of Egypt echo into the heavens as the firstborn in every home without the blood of a lamb on its doorpost is taken. It's devastating, but it's also the moment of freedom for your people. Pharaoh finally relents, and you lead the Israelites out of Egypt, walking boldly toward a promise centuries in the making. But it doesn't end there. The Red Sea looms large, and Pharaoh changes his mind, sending his army after you. Panic spreads through the people. They accuse you, saying, "Was it because there were no graves in Egypt that you brought us to the desert to die?" Your heart sinks, but God speaks to you again. Raise your staff, he commands. You lift it high, and the impossible happens. The sea splits in two, walls of water rising on either side, creating a dry path. You lead the people across, and as the Egyptian army follows, the waters crash down, swallowing them whole. The victory isn't yours, it's God's. Who are you? You're the one who doubted. the one who tried to run, the one who felt wholly unqualified. But you're also the one who trusted just enough to take the first step. You're the one God used to free an entire nation. Your name is Moses, and your story is proof that when God calls, he equips. Moses' story teaches us that God doesn't look for perfection, he looks for willingness. You don't have to be eloquent or brave or extraordinary. You just have to trust that the one who calls you will also sustain you. Moses thought he wasn't enough, but God reminded him, I am enough. What about you? When God calls, will you let your doubts hold you back? Or will you trust him to do the impossible through you? Moses' story is found in Exodus 3:14, with his calling vividly described in Exodus 31:112. One of the most memorable moments is Exodus 14:21, where Moses parts the Red Sea, showing God's unparalleled power and faithfulness. Did Moses' journey resonate with you? If so, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more engaging and inspiring stories of faith. Don't forget to check out other videos about people who overcame doubts to fulfill God's purpose. Share your thoughts in the comments, and may God's calling in your life fill you with courage and hope.